Now, as a convocation speech speaker, right, I'm expected to give you some guidance and some advice. And to put that in the right context, I'm going to share 4 points, okay, to set the context of what I think is likely to happen in the next few years. Then I want to give you 5 pieces of advice that you might want to carry with you, which could help you in your career and your life. So that's really my plan. So it will give you a good sense of what you should keep and how you should remember it. So the first item that I want to focus on is the demographics. Okay. So most of you who are in this room graduating today have probably been born after the year 2000, and we are in a medical school here, and with the advances in medicine that one expects and all the other good things that are happening in the country, I'm very confident that most of you will live past 100, which means you will see the year 2100. The consequence of this is that most of you will have to work till you are past 80. So early retirement is not going to happen. And if you're going to work till you are past 80, imagine you are working till 2085. Right? And this is just the reality of it, and as you sort of get into your prime of your career, the number of young people will also start to reduce as the demographics kind of turns around, and you will suddenly have to work for a very long time. Not just to support yourselves, but to support everyone else. And especially if you are in good health and running marathons at 80, you would want to work on your own anyway. So that's really very important to understand. The second point I want to make is about India. So India already this year has announced that we are the 4th largest economy in the world by GDP. And hopefully before the end of this decade, we will be the 3rd largest economy of the world. The Prime Minister has set a target that they would like to see India be $30 trillion in 2047. But even at $30 trillion in 2047, even if we make that, we will not be within the top 2 economies of the world. So it's always exciting to talk to young people here, because you are the ones who will make India be the top 2 economies of the world. And it is going to happen through your innovation and new things that you will do. We have to find some breakthroughs to get us into that top 2, and it's always exciting to talk to you all, because you are the ones who are going to be the architects of those breakthroughs. So a lot depends on you, and I'm really excited to be here to see you, looking forward to this challenge that you have ahead of you. So that was a number 2 item. The third thing I want to share with you is technology. As you are all aware, meaning you all probably grew up with cell phones and internet in home. But when we were growing up, which is not that far back, we did not have internet at home, or there was no internet in college either. Cell phones came in, we were already 40 plus when we started to first use cell phones. We didn't even have phones at home at that point. So technology has moved very rapidly and at an exponential pace. If you look back, you can see the exponentiality of the things. But if you look ahead, this exponentiality is going to continue for the next several years. This whole concept of exponential growth is kind of hard to understand for most people. And one way to think about it is to think about the great story that we all have heard of, where we talk about the 1 grain of rice, where you start with 1 grain of rice, the sage. So the story is that the king, one monk actually went to the king and did something really good. So the king decided to award the monk with saying, okay, take what you want. And he said, I want 1 grain of rice for the first square on my chessboard, 2 on the second, 4 on the third, and so on. And by the time they started to count halfway into it, they realized that they had run out of all the rice. And the power of exponential is such that 2 to the power of n is greater than the sum of everything that happens till 2 to the power n minus 1. So the technology is moving really fast, and it is very hard to keep pace with it. In the next few years, you will see a lot more new things happening. In the last 3 years during your tenure at PSG Tech, I'm sure you have seen the AI revolution, When you came in, perhaps there was no chat GPT, but now you cannot do without chat GPT. So it's a very exciting kind of things that we see. And with the advent of AI and the progress that we are making here, I'm very sure that this exponentiality of technology will continue for a very long time to come. So that's the third thing that you should be aware of as you plan your career. And the last important thing I want to share with you is the future of jobs. I think the consequences of new technology, the demographics and various other things that have happened have had serious consequences on the future of jobs. So there are a few things that you should be aware of, that during your career of 80 years, or rather 60 years of career, you will have to do many different things concurrently and at the same time. Most of the people in this room will get fired from your jobs at least 7-8 times. This is going to be the way it happens. There is going to be no shortage of work, but there will be shortage of jobs. So it will be your responsibility to convert work to jobs. So don't expect somebody to give you a job, but you will have to find ways to create jobs for not only yourselves but for everyone else. So there is going to be a premium for being a job creator rather than a job seeker. And I think that we are heading into a world where you will see some form of the gig economy happening in across every particular industry. The best way to think of gig economies is to think about a movie where people come in together for building that movie, and at the end of the movie everyone is kind of now looking for the next movie. And even while the movie is being made, the actors are probably acting in 2 or 3 movies at the same time and doing different things concurrently. So this is going to be the future of work. So one important lesson from here is that don't expect employers to give you lifetime employment. That concept is gone now. You will have to find work for yourselves, and you are responsible for your own life and your career. And don't blame anyone else for it, because who else will you blame? There is no company that is going to last as long as you will last. So, okay? So that's the context. Again, I shared 4 items here. One was demographics. You have to work till 60 years. India is going to be a happening place. If you want to be in the top 2, which we would all love to see, it's going to happen because of the innovation and the great things that you do. It won't happen just by being there. The third thing I mentioned was about technology and the exponentialism of technology. Very scary, but it requires you to do a few things. And then finally, the future of work. With this context, I'm going to give you 5 ideas of what you should be thinking about to help you in the 60-year journey that you have ahead of you. Okay? So the first thing I want to mention is the importance of having a dream or an ambition. A lot of times we hear from everyone that if AI is going to do everything, what will we do? So it's a good point, but I think a lot of what happens because you and humans, you especially, think of some big thing that you want to do and you go and achieve it. So having that goal or a purpose is really what makes humans succeed, and having that goal is very important for all of you. Now, while it's easy for me to say that you should have an ambition and a dream, it's kind of very hard to say you're going to work 60 years. What is going to be my dream for 60 years? I have no clue where the world is going. I don't know what I will do. So how can I create a very long-term ambition? So what I'm saying is, don't think too far out. Think 5 years at a time. So put the next 5 years, what do you think you're going to do? Write it down somewhere. So what do you aspire to be in the next 5 years, let's say? And write it down. If you have it written down, then you can look at it. And every year, just kind of look at it again and see if anything needs to be refreshed. So when you're trying to build these bold ambitions, have something long-term, but actually plan something in the shorter 3 to 5 year terms as you go along. And if you go ahead, you will find more and more things that come in. You know, I came back from the US in 1990 and started Persistent in 1990. Now, at that point, people felt, oh, you know, today people tell me that I'm a visionary, okay? But when I started the business in 1990, nobody thought that this was a visionary thing at all. It was kind of stupid. India was not happening at all. It was not moving. And it would have been very difficult to do something like this. Now, the thing is, there are many opportunities that keep going around all over the place. And it's those who have thought of them are the ones who grab them. The reason for thinking about what you want to do in the future is not so much about what happened. See, a lot of different things will come. You will see many opportunities that come your way. If you have thought through them, then you are likely to grab them. And that is the reason why you need to think about some of these things, and writing them down is very important. So the first thing that I want to share is be ambitious. And if you are going to be ambitious and you're going to dream, why dream small, right? You might as well dream something big. Everything you dream is possible at this stage. So think big and think about where you want to go. The second point I want to mention is regarding the importance of continuous learning. Okay? As you all are aware, and as I shared with you, technology is moving very rapidly. I'm sure and I know that PSG Tech is an excellent institute, and what they have shared with you and taught you in terms of the subjects will take you for the first job, and you will do very well there. But when you're looking at a 60-year career, there is no way you can remember, or no college in any way can imagine what is going to happen 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and so on. So those who are able to adapt and find out new things as they come along and learn as you go are the ones who are going to succeed. So continuous learning is kind of very, very important. Now when we talk about learning, it's important to understand that each one of us learns very differently. Some people learn by reading, some people learn by listening, some people combination, some like cartoons, some like video. And especially the young people have been listening to lots of podcasts, videos, reels, all kinds of things. So each one of us learns very differently. Figuring out how you learn most efficiently is a key thing that you need to do as early in life as possible. The faster you figure things out, this is how I learn, that's really the key to success. I find that I learn well if I have to explain to someone what I have learned. So I usually accept challenges as to saying, okay, give us a talk on this topic or that topic, and that forces me to kind of prepare for it, learn the subject, and then, that is my driving function in terms of learning new things. And each one of us must learn something all the time, because there is no way we can keep pace with what is moving and what is happening in the world. So continuous learning is the key to success, and those of you who can learn just in time what is needed will be the ones who will succeed. So this was my number 2 item. The third thing is that, and this is something that I really believe in, it's in the power of teamwork. Okay? In this kind of a world that we all live in, we cannot do anything on our own. Individuals will not be able to achieve the success that can be achieved by teams of people working together. Teams of different groups of people, different communities, different skills, multidisciplinarity and otherwise, working together is really what creates success in a different way. Now I'm sure all of you who are in college and professors here can completely relate to teamwork, and when they give an assignment, even whether it's mandated or not, teamwork really happens in the hostels in the evenings. And I've seen, at least in our time, we not only worked with other students in the class, we always had notes from previous batches that we could use, right? So that concept now has kind of been taken over by ChatGPT, so you don't need to work with anyone and ChatGPT can give you all the answers. But I'm telling you, the power of working together in teams is very valuable. And as I work with lots of individuals, I find that Indians tend to work very well when they are in homogeneous groups, classmates and people they already know. But when it comes to working with global teams, we tend to be very shy. We are not that open to working with teams across the world. And that's a drawback that we have. So I would like you to think and urge about working with teams across different disciplines, different age groups, different kinds of things. Make friends across the world and see how to work together, because when you work together, good things happen. One of the best things that college does for you, and I'm sure PSG Tech has done this for you, is the people who are sitting next to you. They are your best network. When it comes to meeting people after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you will find that your network has helped you a lot. When you go meet someone in a strange country or a strange place and they say, oh, you're from PSG Tech, oh, I know the college, I have a relative there or a friend there, or even I went to college. That kind of bonding really creates an opportunity for you to work together. So get to know as many people as you can, network like hell, and work in teams. That's the number 3 item that I want to share with you. The 4th thing I want to share is the importance of having personal value system. Okay? And at PSG Tech, I'm sure you have heard this many times, and the institute is very well known for its integrity and values. Not only should institutions have personal value systems, each individual should have their own personal value systems as well. So what do I stand for that I'm not willing to compromise? That is something that you need to write down and be ready with. I really believe in the power of writing things down. Okay? When you have these kinds of things in your mind, you don't always think about it. But if you think about writing 5 things that you personally stand for, it will really help you in thinking about what you want to do and what you would accept, what compromises you will not be willing to make, because your value system determines this is really what you want to do. I want to share a story that an uncle shared with me many years back about Sir Mokshagundam Vishweshwaraya. So the story goes like this. So Mokshagundam Vishweshwaraya was a very well-known civil engineer, as you all know. And he was working for the government, building dams and all of the other things. And he was in a rest house in a small city, small town, and he was working with one candle and drawing something. And then 2 of his relatives came over and he said, okay, please wait for some time. He completed what he had to do. Then he took that candle, extinguished it, put another candle and started talking to them. So these 2 guys who had come, who were his relatives, got a little confused. What happened really? Why did he have to change this candle? So he said, I was working for the government, so I had the government candle. Now I'm on my personal time, so here's my personal candle, right? So people like that think about, all of these kinds of things. What is personal? What is government? All these values that they came along with, right? So it is the values and our integrity that really makes us who we are. And this is something, the earlier you think about what you will accept and what you will not, makes a huge difference in your life and the life of others you influence. So really think about this as your personal value compass. Build your own value compass. And if you think about it for a few minutes and write down and then re-look at it after a few months, you will be able to create your own value compass. Have it written down on the wall somewhere. Keep it in your notebook, keep it in one file on your computer. Just review it every so often. When you have it written down, when you get to a situation where you are stressed, these are the things that will help you in terms of determining what is right and what is not. The last thing I want to share with you is what I have always believed in, is the importance of persistence. All of us have days when things go right, things don't go right. Those who come back the next day are the ones who win. It's not the bad days that make a difference. It's the day you do what you do after the bad day, coming back, that is really what makes you succeed in some form or the other. In the name of our company also, we are persistent systems for a reason. But I want to share a Sachin Tendulkar story for you about persistence here. So Sachin Tendulkar, which of course is the greatest of all time, the GOAT as they call him, he was playing in a Calcutta test match against Australia, and he got out to one of the tough balls from, one of the swing balls that came out of Glenn McGrath. And it was one of those balls which he just couldn't see, and he just got out on it. And now if you were just an ordinary person, say, oh, just a bad luck, I just missed the ball and it just didn't work out and it won't happen again, and you just move on. But that's not what Sachin makes the greatest player of all time. So he went back and he collected these balls, old balls which are kind of shiny on one side and not on the other side. He got the groundsman to pick a whole bunch of those. He got a whole bunch of fast bowlers and got them to bowl thousands of balls to see. Then they also think about where the ball is being held. Is it, he holds it this side, that side, all kinds of stuff like that. And he talked to his coach for a week before the next test, which was in Chennai. He spent many hours just trying to figure out how to play this basic ball that he missed, right? And the next test match, if you see the scores, he scored about 140 runs or so. And he did not score runs on one side of the thing. I think he only scored on the leg side and didn't score offside or the other way around. And he scored 135 runs in that test match. So the point I'm trying to make is, you can fail. That can happen to every one of you. There will be a ball that you will miss. How you react past that is what makes the greatest difference from everyone else. Most of us, when we miss a ball, we say, oh, I just missed it. Next time I'll not do it. But you don't think about it enough to practice and get better so that you cannot miss it the next time. So the mistakes you make once is not the problem. If you repeat it, that's the problem. So I want to finally end this with a quote that I have from Calvin Coolidge about persistence. Nothing in the world can take place of persistence. Okay? Talent will not. Nothing is more common than men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Press on has solved many problems and will continue to solve them in the future. So with this message, I want to just summarize. I gave you 4 ideas as far as the context is concerned. One was on demographics, the second one was on India, the third thing was on technology, and the fourth was about the future of jobs. And then I gave you 5 ideas. One is the importance of dreaming or thinking big, ambition. The second point was regarding continuous learning. The third point was regarding teamwork and the importance of teamwork and networking. Values, building your own personal compass, and finally being persistent. So let me now wish all of you graduating students all the very, very best. You have a great 60 years of career ahead of you. Press on, and if you do the right things, as you will certainly do, India will definitely be within the top 2 nations of the world, maybe even the top GDP country in the world before you retire. Wish you all the very best, and thank you for inviting me here.